Hi everybody, this is Gwen, and thank you for tuning in my channel. And I want to introduce to you Mary White.
Yes. Hi,
And Mary
everybody.
White, Mary name. Oh, Mary Sharpe White. I'm sorry, Mary Sharpe White, because we've been friends for years since grade school. And it's nice to know that Mary can give me some information that I want. And it's regarding, well, my channel is Nutritional Outlook. And to have a nutritional outlook, we have to have a good mood. We have to fill our minds with good things so we can put good vibes out and get good vibes coming in, right? Okay, so Mary's going to give me some information. She's Dr. Mary White, and she is a doctor of divinity, and she has something to do with today in explaining to you her position as far as having a good state of mind and having that to be good health outlook for us.
Yeah.
Okay, Mary.
Okay, so if I can just share with you, my primary role in the world today is minister. I do have some college and all of that. And so we want to talk about our brain, our emotions, and good health today, right, Gwen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how all of that is connected. And coming from, the Bible tells us that, how to think good in order to feel good, in order to have a good quality of life and desire to good things to put inside of our bodies as well. Right. And so it said we ought to think on those things that are true, that are honest and noble, that are just, are reputable, those things that are pure, those things that are lovely, of good report, of virtuous, and those things that are praiseworthy, and those things to praise, those things that we've heard, that we've seen, and that we have realized even in our own life and everything. And so, but how can we do that? Childhood traumas and disappointments and everything reshapes our brain. Right. It's not the same as it was in the beginning. It's not the same as it was at the moment when we were born, but through experiences, our brain have been reshaped. Yes. But, we can reshape it right back and heal that brain and everything. And so what I wanted to share, I was speaking with Gwen earlier, and so, and she, we were talking about the brain and emotions and how all of this is and everything. So I just wanted to kind of share, Gwen, because we were talking about some of those brain chemicals. Right. And the importance of these chemicals and what they do. The Bible also tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And so everything in our body functions in order to bring us back into a right relationship with God, that we would desire Him. There's nothing about us. I mean, He made us perfectly, but because of sin, we became imperfect. But through salvation, He brings us back into a right relationship with us and give us a mind to, to think on those things that are true, honest, and just, and everything. I desire to do that. But these I just want to talk about, like the serotonin, which is about the serenity and the hopefulness in our moods. That's what the serotonin does for us.
And that's a natural chemical.
Right, it is natural. And we're talking about the natural stuff, no extra stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we have the dopamine, and it has to do with the arousal and stimulation neurotransmitter. And with the dopamine, so this here is what, sometimes when we feeling down, one big thing now since we going through this coronavirus and all of this here is to eat right. And we want something to make us feel good because we are not going out. We ought to be exercising and stuff in the house. We want to maintain good health. But also with that dopamine, is triggered, that good feeling a lot of times by the food that we eat, that food that tastes good. And so we want to be careful that we don't overeat on things that are going to have us to gain weight, which in result would do what? Make us depressed,
right.
and all of that.
And
And
dopamine
everything
helps us to level off being depressed.
um,
I thought I heard.
too much can lead to dependence on something.
Right.
And a dopamine is that feel good, is that feel good neurotransmitter. Yeah, but then you have the endorphins. Now, and the endorphins, these are hormones and neurotransmitters too, and they tend to, when we're under stress or pain, the higher level of the endorphins, the less pain we tend to feel, and the more endorphins release, we experience euphoric emotions and feelings. And so this here too, can be behind foods and like chocolate and peppers and all that kinds of stuff. And like you were saying, too little dopamine can result in depression.
Because some of us, some people do have lacking of that, and they have to do something like add some like chemical to help balance it.
That's right. And that's a good point, Gwen, because a lot of the time when our bodies are not producing the right chemicals and the things that we needed, oftentimes we'll go to, if it's a mental health professional, a psychiatrist, or somebody who can diagnose that, and as a result of blood tests and these things, find out that the body is not producing these things on their own, and so then they will give us a prescription. And so I'm a firm believer in that, God put people in all places. He created the mind to give us the help that we need so that we can be successful, so that we can live life, so that we can have abundant life and life everlasting. And so then these prescriptions that are given to help give us the chemical balances that we need in order to have a great quality of life are essential for many people.
Right. They're essential. I had to interrupt, Mary.
That's okay.
They're essential, but they're artificial. And so we're going back to thinking about having more natural things for our mind. And the Lord already has natural ingredients in the foods that we can eat.
That's
and
right.
The herbs that we can smell or we can eat too. And those are supposed to basically replace a lot of what those artificial chemicals
right do. And a lot of those do and can successfully, not all the time, but oftentimes. And then this last one, which is a main neurotransmitter of the sympathetic nerve, and what it does, this is the fight or flight mechanism, and it monitorization of our physical actions, such as our heart rate and blood pressure and all of that. And see, when things come into the brain based on what we believe about what is filtering through what we see and what we hear, what is filtering through, and then we process that in a certain way. And so in the way that we process it, it can impact us in a positive way or in a negative way. Right. And so then, so we want to think on, these things that are good, and that includes, Lord, I pray, my prayer for me and my family and for those, God, give us a good, healthy appetite for good foods, and to eat. And I'm glad we're in a family that we love vegetables and we love fruit and all, these things, we just love a lot of the
things
natural things that help. And then to get up and move. Now we have to do that more, especially now, to get up and move, and even by taking care of our physical self like that, there's a positive reaction in the brain that help us to live well-balanced and healthy lives.
That is so much good information that Mary has given us, and you want to wrap this up basically in saying that in correlation to your brain is be healthy to coincide with the food that you put in your body, and with exercise and with all that together, we have a system that God has created that it works together that way, and we'll have the ultimate life of good health, and we can think clear, we can speak clear, and we can just be more, we put out happy vibes and we'll get happy vibes back. We have to keep those happy vibes going, because if we do, then we'll have better brain waves that are healthy.
Yeah, and so, you wrapped it up pretty good, Gwen, and everything. And but the brain does have an impact on our emotions and what we take in, and then our emotions, impact our physical health. And so there is a real connection there. And so, think on those things. Think on those things. And if you have a challenge, because the brain is so damaged, I'm going to share this book that I have read, The God-Shaped Brain. And it says how changing your view of God transform your life, because a lot of times when we have to have a foundation, somewhere to go in our life that's going to make us get back right, and to see things truthfully and honestly, and to carry out just, and to and all of these things that we are thinking on, and Jesus is all of this. Jesus is all of this. So we have to have a solid foundation for that. And so this here is an excellent book by Timothy R. Jennings. He's Dr. Timothy R. Jennings, The God-Shaped Brain. And also that goes along with that, I didn't bring that, but the Beatitudes in your Bible, Matthew chapter 5, verses 3 through 12. If you would sit down and go to a study on your own, it will help you. It will help you to go to get that brain back right.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. This is a good book. I'm going to see about reading it myself, Mary. And Mary's on her way to go to her broadcast. So she's on her way doing so. We're going to say thank you very much for taking this time, Mary. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again next clip. Bye.